Put it in series with the coil here and go into the spark plug. So let's spin her over. Keep it on it. Let me know if you see anything. Alright, there's no spark. I've double checked, and the kill switch is actually in the run position. Let me double check that. Kill switch is located over here, just to the right a little bit. It's right in here. I haven't dug it out, put a meter on it to see if it's right or not, but it's in the run position. So I'm not seeing any spark. So I think we got ignition issues. Yeah, it's okay. That's fixable. All right, I stick a picture in here. Another number I found stamped. This is on the back end of the head, it looks like. So I'll stick that picture in right here. I think that's probably as far as I want to go for today. I'm going to see what I can dig up. I'll use Mr. Interwebs and see what I can find out about this generator, and see if I can get some torque values, maybe some, I want to take a look at the valves in here, see if the valve spacing or the valve lash is going to be okay or whatever. So I want to find out more about it and get back with you. All right, new day. We got kind of rainy and stormy yesterday, so I put everything away before that's suffered more damage than it already has. But this morning, off camera, I went through and tested the coil up here, and it tests good. I got about 12 ohms from the point where it connects to the plug back to ground on the coil. And I disconnected what appears to me to be the kill wire, just to make sure that there's no chance that the kill circuit could actually kill the signal or kill the spark. And that made no difference. I still had no spark. So got the camera turned back on here, and what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and take this shroud off. I'll get you in here, maybe where you can watch this happen. I got to see what's going on in here on this flywheel, and again, I don't understand the whole coil being on top kind of thing. I mean, I get it on like the little Harbor Freight 2-cycle. I understand that, but on this one, I don't know. It must be a very similar situation. So let's take this off. Normally, like with a Briggs or a Tecumseh, there's only about 4 bolts on here. This one's got like 5 or 6. Well, I was going to say also, I took this morning. I went ahead and took this off the recoil mechanism and restrung it just with the rope that's in here. I got a new one coming, so, but it doesn't have enough rope in here. You get that much, you get about 1.5 feet, which should be enough to start it, but I would like to go at least a couple of revolutions with the rope. So when the new one gets here, we'll redo this. I'm going to pull you off the tripod here, so hang on, take your take your nausea pills. Alright, I guess I kind of understand. There's just a little coil here, and the magnet is very, very small. I don't know if this is going to focus on it or not properly, but anyway, that's it for just one magnet, which should be all you need. Obviously, that's how they all work, but this one's set up a little different. Alright, that makes sense. One thing I do note right off, though, you can't really tell, but since this camera's a piece of crap, this is rubbing on here. That's just not right. So I'm going to readjust this, put a little air gap in there, like 10 thousandths or something is kind of standard on Tecumseh Briggs and that sort of thing. 10 to 13, somewhere in there. So I will do that. I want to adjust this, and we'll give it another try, see if we can get any kind of spark out of it then. All right, I did the same thing I would do with a US engine business card, and put that in there and rolled it up on so that the magnet pulls it down, and tighten it up with that in there, and it doesn't rub anymore. So I'm going to put the shroud back on, put a couple of bolts in it, and we'll see what we got then. All right, I've got 3 bolts back in it. Let's see if we got any kind of signs of life now. I'm still not seeing anything. So moving on. All right, brand new day. Actually, this is a few days later, and here's the progress. I'm just going to cover a couple of things that I've gotten done. Use this citrus strip. You see that? Just checking to make sure you can see that. Okay. Yeah, this stuff works pretty good. You got to leave it set for a while. It takes a few hours, but I've got some large plastic bags, so I just applied this on one side, stuck it in a plastic bag, and let it set overnight, and got up next morning, and little wire brush action. Well, I scraped it off, the worst of it, with a little putty knife, and then the wire brush, and then polished up the rest of it. Not done yet, but I do have a wire wheel. Always use safety glasses. Trust me, you want safety glasses with these things. Anyway, I've been over it, and I got it mostly done. I'm waiting on paint, so I'm going to wait and do some final sanding on it when the paint arrives. I did both sides, and this side came out a little better because it was in better shape to start with, so it was a lot smoother. What problem I'm having right now is this dent that I showed earlier. There's this entire, it's difficult to see in the camera, but this entire part right here needs to be lifted up just a little, and then this dent needs to be pushed out somehow, and I have no idea how I'm going to do that. I've got no tools available, believe that or not, that will reach in there, and I'm thinking a quarter power with a little cylinder, something might go in there, but then the problem is, as that's pushing up with these ridges in here, it's also going to be pushing down here where the only actual ridge would be right here at the edge and then around here. So it's equal and opposite reaction kind of thing. So I'm really looking for input from somebody, some suggestions on how to go about getting that dent out without having to buy some expensive new tools. I do watch Robbie Layton, the body guy in Utah, in his YouTube channel, and he's got a really pretty cool device that just attaches here. You could put a series of these key-looking things across here that like spot welds themselves to the metal, and then you put a rod through there and you lift the whole thing up, and something like that would work slick. And I may have to go that route, but I've looked at the prices on those, and wow, this is a one-off deal. I don't need to mess with this more than this time, so this needs to be a one and done kind of thing. So anyway, looking for input on that, and then I'll move along and show you what else I got done. I did get a new coil and put it in here and got it installed. And I just put a little bit of clear tubing on the carburetor inlet and cinched the fasteners back down on the carburetor. And it starts and runs. I have to have the choke almost all the way on to get it to run. So the carburetor is going to need to be cleaned, and that's what I'm going to cover here in a little bit. But anyway, I just want to let you know that I got the new recoil, and I'll show you that here in just a second. I got the new coil, and that's installed. And next is going to be taking this carburetor off and getting it cleaned, and see whether or not I'm going to have to use the new one that I got. It's still not here. I don't know if it's called back order, but it's delayed in any event. So I don't have a new one for it yet, unfortunately, but it's time to get some video done here. So that's what we're doing. And so that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to show you the recoil in just a second. That's not very exciting, but that's the way it is. And then we'll move along to get some carburetor cleaning done. All right, this is the last of what I got done now. Got the new recoil on there with appropriate size rope on it. So I probably will refurbish the one that came off of here. I'll get it cleaned up. The spring is really rusty in it because this thing has set out in the weather for far too long. And so I'll probably refurbish that because it'll work on pretty much any Honda clone engine coming up in the future, and there will be more, I'm sure. So all right, let's move along and see what we can do with this carburetor. One of the interesting things about working on a Honda clone is the fasteners in here are all either 10 millimeter or 8 millimeter, pretty much everything. So let's go ahead and get this carburetor off here, see if I can. And oh, looks like I'm gonna need a Phillips screwdriver up here on top. We'll get her done here. Hang on. Okay, I'm kind of working around the camera here, so bear with me. Different screwdriver. I may end up going with a whole new carb on this. This plastic up here on top's been weathered. Here in Texas, man, it doesn't take too long with Texas sun to cause plastic to deteriorate. So far, the gaskets are in pretty decent shape. Although there is no gasket on this. Oh yeah, there is. There's a gasket on here, but I'm not going to mess with that just yet. I might have to soak that loose. I can't really tell if I got you in frame here. Hang on. Well, maybe that'll work a little better. Really need to get these screws out so we don't end up losing them. I don't know that new carbs come with this. I think it does not. Okay. All right. We got it loose. Let's set up over here on the other side and see what we can figure out. All right, so while I'm getting set up here, I just got a question. I got a question for y'all. YouTube analytics showing that a majority of folks watching my videos, a large percentage of you are shutting off at about the 2-minute mark into each and every video. And I'm not going to complain about that. And it's just a fact of life. That's a true thing that's happening. But if you're gonna watch for a little bit and then shut it off, go ahead and leave a like or a dislike. I'm dislikes are still turned on, available, and also leave a comment. What is it that you don't like? Why aren't you watching? That's the only way I want to get better is if I get feedback. And right now I'm getting zero feedback. So just point it out. All right, let's see if we can get this clamp off of here. I'm going to drain this out. Again, these things are always either 10 millimeter or 8 millimeter. I did have, the bowl was full. Obviously, like I said, I had it running a couple of days ago. Not well, but it was running. So, and produces power. It's going to take some adjustment Get that extension out of there. See if we can get this loose without damaging anything. There we go. I just want to see if there's gunk coming out of the bowl. The fuel I'm using in here is 2-cycle gas with a 50-to-1 oil mix, 2-cycle oil mix. So the color's a little off, but that little bit of oil in there is not going to cause the issues I was seeing with running. Looks like there is some junk on the end of this, the drain. So let's go ahead and get this. There's no a little bit of debris in there, but I don't see any water, any signs of water in there. Which, as long as it's set outside, I'm amazed. Try to keep you in frame here. Trying. Yeah, there's rust on there. Zoom you back out here a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty gunked up. I wish that I had a ultrasonic cleaner so I could fix this in a hurry. Looks like the needle valve's not stuck. That's good. Which I could have told you that. It was, like I said, it was running a few days ago, a couple of days ago. Yeah, needle's got some gunk on it. We can clean that up. It's not a big deal. Main jet is, yeah, you're never going to see in there. I'll see if I can get it out of there, but there's some debris down in there. Let's see if also we can get the emulsion tube out. There's a main jet in here and an emulsion tube which should be removable on this style carburetor. And then you got a pilot jet up here, and they've got, whoever messed with this last has the idle. This screw here, basically on a generator, is only there to hold the pilot in, and they've got it screwed all the way in there, so it would never idle even if it needed to. So when I put it back, it'll just go through far enough to hold this. Hopefully I don't need O-rings. I mean, I know where to get them if I need them, but we'll get this cleaned up here a little bit. Let's see if I can get the main jet out of here. Hang on. I'm gonna use a little carb cleaner on here. You know what? That stuff doesn't taste good. Ask me how I know. All right, that's a little better. Let's see if we can get this to break loose without screwing it up. Hey, we're in business. lot of threads in here. Here's the main jet. I don't think the emulsion tube's going to cooperate. Well, maybe it will. Just had to convince it. Yeah, we're clear that way, but these the pickups on the side here is not good. Let me get some. Well, we'll move along and take a look at the pilot jet on here. I'd like to point out that I've done carburetor work in the past, and I usually figured it out. But I've been watching another YouTuber. His name's Jim Condon. He works on a lot of generators, a lot of small engine stuff, and I've actually picked up quite a few pointers from that fella. So if you get a chance, go check him out. And also Chicanic. I don't know how many of you watch her videos, but I tell you what, that's one knowledgeable lady right there. She knows so much about small engines, getting them working and that kind of thing. So you can learn a lot on YouTube University, that's for sure. It's not acting like it wants to come out of there without damage, and I really don't want to damage it. I'll see if I can clean it out from there, but since it was running, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'll get the main jet cleared out and the emulsion tube and see where we get to from there. Alright, see what we can do here. Alright, keep an eye on this gasket in here. These are, they're not hard to get, but they're an annoyance. They go bad because they, anyway, it's in good shape. Let's see if we can find something to clean these out with. Where's my littlest one? Looks like maybe this one. Not too big for those. Okay. I've got nozzle cleaner for like an oxyacetylene torch nozzle. Oh yeah, that one was just about plugged solid. You know, a few years ago, my fingers worked like they're supposed to. These days, they kind of have a mind of their own. Yeah, there's a lot of varnish in these. I'm thinking this is going to work a whole lot better. I am going to go a little later and get some high octane gasoline that's not mixed with oil when I get ready to test this thing out. Okay, got that. I can see light through here, but it's pretty gunked up, so let's see if we can get one of these through there. It's about the smallest one I got right there. It won't quite go through. So let's see. This one should. Yeah, it's not a problem. Let's get one a little bigger now. That one's about right. Excellent. Yeah, there's some holes right in here you need to pay attention to. That spring is not overly happy. I think that's about all I can do to it for now. Alrighty, I'm going to put it back together and see how we did. These don't have to have, there's probably a torque value on this. If somebody knows what that is, let me know. But it's probably going to be good enough right there. I'm going to clean this out a little. Yeah, don't want to get it on the camera, so hang on. That's a little better.